morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. The famous philosopher Aristotle said this: in poverty and other misfortunes of life, true friends are a sure refuge. They keep the young out of mischief. They comfort and aid the old in their weakness, and they incite those in the prime of life to noble deeds. Do you have anybody that you're inciting to noble deeds? Is anyone inciting, are you inciting noble deeds in others? Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests, I wanted to let you know today about the importance of friends. Friendship is so important in our lives, and as adults, we don't talk about this much. We talk about it as little children and growing up, and especially teenage girls. How many friends do teenagers have? Look at on television, you have Friends, the show that lasted, what, 11 years or something like that? Thank you for being a friend. All those things. Friendship is very important. But last year, I had a personal experience about meeting a friend. I've had lots of friends in my life. I've had best friends growing up. I counted, as I was preparing for this speech, I counted about 12 good friends, what I would call best friends in my life over my 49 years that I am. But currently, since I moved to Douglasville and joined a church, I've had a couple of good friends, but then they've moved away and jobs have taken them places and things like that. Well, last summer, I have lots of other kinds of friends, but not a best friend. And last summer, I was training for the Peachtree and doing running, and I injured my knee. And I had a stress fracture, so I could not move around very much. And at the same time, I got poison ivy from neck down. It was an unrelated incident. I didn't fall into any weeds or anything running. It was my dog brought it in from the outside, and I played with him, and I got poison ivy. So I was bedridden, needless to say, miserable. And I wanted a friend. I wanted a best friend to come over and baby me. And I love my husband, and your spouse should be your best friend. And you may have sisters, and they are brothers and sisters, and they are good friends too. But I wanted a little friend to come over and help me. So I read in a book I found online called Friendship for Grown-Ups by Lisa Whelchel. And if y'all remember her, she was in the 80s or whatever in a show. She grew up in front of us on television, and she's a wonderful author, and she wrote about friendship. And I read this book, and I cried because I wanted a friend like she talked about in this book. And so I began my journey for friendship. I even put it, get this, I put it on Facebook. I did, I promise. I put it on Facebook. And I said, who will take this journey with me to my journey for friendship? And I got one response. I did. I got one response. And my friend, and I actually loaned the book to her, and I wrote in it, and I said, thank you for taking the journey with me. And she did for a little while. But as I learned in the book, too, you need to find different friends. A lot of people will say they'll do things and maybe not follow through. And I'm guilty of that too, so I'm not judging anyone and judging her by any means. But, she was very busy. We get busy in our lives. But let me just tell you some advantages of finding a friend. Did you know that a nurse's health study from Harvard Medical School concluded that not having close friends was as detrimental to your health as smoking or being overweight? Did you know that? Well, people with a strong social network are more likely to survive a major illness, such as a heart attack or cancer. Human companionship can also help reduce the effects of stress on the body, protect against illness, and help us heal when we do get sick. There's lots of good advantages of friendship. Also, did you know this? This is another, Dr. Dean Ornish, who's a pioneer in reversing heart disease. He said, quote, not diet, not smoking, not exercise, not stress, not genetics, not drugs, not surgery has a greater effect on how we get sick and fight sickness than the healing power of love, of a friendship. We all need that. We need that in our lives. We need the intimacy. We want to be known, and we want to know. We want to have those friendships in our lives. Well, I read also in doing the research that I guess an average person has something like over 300 friends, 396, almost 400 friends in a lifetime, but only about 33 at a time. And I'm thinking, gosh, I've got 461 friends on Facebook. Well, there is a reason. Those are called silent friends, by the way. If you have friends just on Facebook, you know, they're okay, and that's good, or by email, but you need some contact. We need human contact. But in her book, Lisa Whelchel talks about different kinds of friends, okay? You have friends that are buckets, you have friends that are teacups, and you have friends that are thimbles. This is a makeshift thimble because I do not have a thimble. Okay, friends that are buckets they have a lot to give and they can receive a lot. So determine what you are. Are you a bucket? Or maybe you need just a little bit of friends, so you might be a teacup or a little, I guess this would be an espresso cup. Or do you just need a little bit? You can give a little bit, and you only need a little bit. Or you can have some buckets in your life, which those would be like in the example Lisa gives us in the Bible. Jesus had 3 close, very good friends, Peter, James, and John. Then he had his 12 disciples who were more like teacups. And then he had hundreds of thimbles in his life. And so you need to determine what you need in your life so that you won't be emptied out, always pouring into other people and never receiving from another bucket. Okay? And you also need to determine how to make friends. What are safe friends? A friend that gossips and tells all your secrets is not safe. A friend that doesn't follow through with their word is not safe. So you need to determine how to make friends and look for those friendships where you can be open and be transparent and vulnerable and give to someone and receive in the same way. And so friendship, there's lots of proverbs in the Bible, and a friend loves at all times. Thank you.
The importance of friendship. Your objectives for the speech were to project sincerity and conviction and strive to not to use your notes, which I found that you did pretty good with that. Maybe you could improve that a little bit. Your quotations and stuff that you used. It was great supporting things in your speech, but you read them rather than just quoted them out of memory. So, but you did good with that. Any nervousness displayed would be minimal, and I found that was true. You did a really good job. You seemed to be very confident in what you were talking about, and you didn't seem nervous at all. Says, what could the speaker have done differently to make the speech more effective? And I only feel like that maybe a little more organization of the speech with making your points more distinct and then elaborating on those. So kind of 1, 2, 3, so to speak. I don't know if that would work better, but that's just what I felt. And then, what did you like about the presentation? I loved your topic. Everybody can relate to friendships, and everybody can relate to wanting to have that special friend, especially when you're down. And the quotes that you use, I love quotes, and so I loved listening to those and loved being able to use those in the future for myself. I do a lot of quotes on Facebook. And then the book, using that book in your speech as supporting material, I love that because you learned from that book and then you enhanced and elaborated on that. I thought that was very effective. It was great. I'm a book reader and I like to educate myself and improve myself through reading of other people's experiences, so I enjoyed that. Overall, I think you did a great job.